All right, everybody, we're out here with our dip nets. It is dip net season here in Kenai, Alaska. We're going to do an overhaul on my old 5-foot net. The kid's got his brand new 4-foot net all ready to go. But we're going to take off this net and replace some of the pins here so this thing's ready to go. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is take these pins out of my net and replace the old ones with some brand new ones. Once we got the pins taken out right here, we want to take this bracket off right here. So we're just going to take the hammer, pop that off. Once this is off, we then just simply unthread the net from the other side of the hoop here. It comes off just like that. We do that all the way down until we get it completely off. Oh, there we go. You look good. I got me a big one. All right, once we got the old net off, we simply get one new from the store and slide it back on just like we took the other one off. So what we got here is a 4.5-inch mesh. That's a slightly bigger size here, bigger hole here in the mesh than what we had on there before. We had a 3.5, this is a 4.5, which means that the fish are more likely to get stuck in the actual net. Makes it a lot more, we call it sticky, but it also means it's hard to pick the fish out, but that's okay. You'll lose less fish with a larger net like this. Now 4.5 is the largest mesh size that we're allowed to use, so this is as good as it gets. All right, so now that we have the new 4.5-inch net out, just start threading it on here, one piece at a time, wrapping it under and over, all the way around. It's as simple as that. There we go. All right. So how this works is as the fish is swimming up the river, their nose ends up hitting this net and getting caught in there. As they panic and they move around, they end up getting caught more in the net, just like that, and you end up pulling them out all tangled up in there just like that. When you pull the fish out of the net, that's called picking, like picking someone's nose.
I don't have one.
You don't have a nose? I can find it. I'll bet you I can find it. All right, now we're going to reassemble the top part here. I went ahead to the store, got some new parts. These are standard parts for a common dip net you're going to buy at the store, only Alaskan residents, to go dip netting. So we're going to reassemble this with some fresh nuts and bolts. All right, for the handle, we're going to add some traction tape. This is actually just sports tape. We're going to wrap it around here so that when this gets wet, it not only is not as cold on your hands, but you actually get more traction holding onto this metal when you're out there in that cold salt water. One thing we're gonna do with the dip net here is make what's called a pocket. These nets are actually made in something of a square. They have corners down here, and if the fish ever get stuck in these corners and get twisting around, it's really hard to pick them out of this stuff. So what we're gonna do is actually pull these two corners together. Instead of having this as kind of a square end of your net, we're gonna make this more into a funnel, which makes it a whole lot easier to pick those fish out of the bottom of your net. All right, to tie this off, we're just gonna use these little clear zip ties right here. Slide that thing through like that. And you're done. You cut that tag off if you want to, and that creates a nice little funnel here for your net. One other little custom bit that you need to have on your dip net is a hose or something like that. We just use an old garden hose, cut it off right here, zip tie it onto the bottom of your dip net so that as you're pushing your net in and out of the water, those rocks and things are not cutting into your braids here and destroying your net. The only other thing that you want to make sure that you do is twist up your dip net and tie it off like this when you go to store it. That keeps it from just catching on everything in the known universe and making a mess when you go to transport or store it. And just like that, you're ready to go dip netting here on the Kenai River. For more content and tips just like this all the way from Alaska,
Like and subscribe to the channel.
booyah.
Yee.